Yo guys, welcome back to another video. UFC just announced 5 new fights. I'm gonna be talking about them a little bit. What I think. I'm gonna start with Aljamain Sterling Yusuf Zalal. I think it's a very, very good matchup. I think it's a good matchup. At the Apex, I'm gonna say something very quickly about the Apex. I think the Apex, it's good that they're allowing fans to go to the Apex now, and that's cool and all. Whatever, you can maybe have one event there every now and then, but I think it's 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 time to it's time to get out of the Apex, man, for good. It's just these any and the UFC can go wherever they want. They could sell out anywhere. They can sell out anywhere they want to. But there's so many places that they haven't gone, especially in the US. And this is like I said, it's a good fight. Um, Obviously, Aljo's very good on the ground. Isn't really known for his striking, but he does have an awkward striking style. Yusuf Zalal is very footwork heavy. Um, like I said, it's a good matchup. Both ranked pretty high in the featherweight division. Um, Aljamain Sterling number 5 ranked, Yusuf Zalal number 7 ranked, and obviously the winner of Evloev and Lerone Murphy will fight Volkanovski for the belt. Well, without a doubt, there shouldn't even be a question. The winner needs to be fighting against Alexander Volkanovski. But I think Aljo especially is probably he's probably a win away from being in that conversation. Again, Kevin Vachos just had an unbelievable performance. I think he'll probably fight Yair Rodriguez next. Um, but to be honest, I don't know what Yair is doing at the moment. So him or Jean Silva would probably be a good matchup against each other. But Aljamain Sterling is going to be in that conversation, especially and Yusuf Zalal on a very good winning streak as well. Aljo, like I said, I think he's probably one win away. Um, Obviously lost to Evloev, but in a very competitive fight. Coming off a win against Brian Ortega in China. Um, yeah, it's still only 3 fights in the featherweight division since moving up from bantamweight. This is going to be his fourth. Yusuf Zalal coming off the win against Josh Emmett, obviously in the first round via submission. And I think Aljo is going to be his toughest fight. Not today because he fought Ilya back in the day, but uh, back in 2020. But toughest fight, um, his toughest recent fight for sure. Aljo is going to be the first former champion that he has fought. Like I said, he fought Ilya, but Ilya wasn't a former champion at the time. Um, it's a big step up, very big step up. Early prediction, I lean Aljo. Um, might be a bit of bias. I'm a big fan of Aljo. I like Aljo, but I just think I think he'll get it done. I haven't broken down the fight yet. I will when we get around to it. But just early prediction, I'm gonna go with Aljo. Moving on. Arnold Allen met Melquizael Costa May 16, again in the Apex. And I don't want this to be in the Apex, especially because this could be Melquizael Costa, his first main event in front of a crowd. You know what I mean? Who doesn't want to see that? I would love to see that. Brother, I'm all aboard this hype train. And I really like Arnold Allen too, but he Melquizael Costa is for real. He's for real, bro. I've been seeing it since not only the win against Andre Fili, the win against Christian Rodriguez in Mexico as well, but the fight against Morgan Charrier, that nasty, absolutely nasty knockout over Morgan Charrier. Morgan Charrier, someone who was very competitive against Nathaniel Wood as well. Someone I rate highly. The guys that are just outside the top 15. But even the win against Dan Ige, Dan Ige is someone who has has really solidified himself in that featherweight division. He's not easy to beat at all, and he made it look relatively easy, winning by knockout. Arnold Allen obviously lost to Evloev not that long ago. Just lost to Jean Silva. Before that, had a win over Giga Chikadze, I believe. It's a good fight, but again, I lean Melquizael Costa in this fight as an early prediction. This is probably a fight where my prediction probably won't change. I think momentum is a very big thing for Costa in this fight, and yeah, man, it's tough for Arnold Allen because, like I said, I like him as well. He's always very competitive in these fights, and I think this kind of performance, this kind of fight will be a performance for Melquizael Costa, saying I did to the entire featherweight division. I did something you couldn't do. I finished Arnold Allen because I think there's a very high possibility of that. But like I said, it's a good fight. These are both good fights so far. But moving on to the next one, Song Yadong versus Deiveson Figueiredo, May 30th in Macau, China. It's a this was one of the ones that it isn't the worst fight that got announced. Um, Song Yadong obviously just fought Sean O'Malley, came up short, but was competitive. Um, it wasn't easy for Sean. Figueiredo coming off a win against Montel Jackson in Brazil, I believe, before they fought Piotr Jan. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's not a bad matchup for Song Yadong. I just think, especially for his first main event in China, but I just think that this fight isn't going to be. I just think Song Yadong will win, and with relative ease, I think he'll be in control of the fight, the entire fight. I mean, Piotr Jan beat Davison Figueiredo pretty. It was in China as well. Beat Figueiredo pretty decisively. And I'm not saying not everyone can have the kind of performance that Piotr Jan had, but I do think Song Yadong is the best of the rest. To be honest, I really rate Song Yadong as well, but it just and he's just come up short against the Piotr Jans and Sean O'Malley when he's gone close to being in that conversation for a title shot. But yeah, I mean, I'm not against the fight. I just think it's a very easy to predict, I guess. I don't see Davison Figueiredo winning. It doesn't even pop into my head for a little bit. So that I feel like that's the only reason why it's probably one of the it's not as good as the other two. I think the other two are more intriguing. Um, Moving on to the next one. Bilal Muhammad versus Gabriel Bonfim at the Apex. I think out of the ones that were announced, this is the Probably the worst one. It's also just because I just never thought I never thought that this fight would happen. And I don't even really know why they've given Gabriel Bonfim this opportunity to fight Bilal Muhammad. Bilal is a former champion, obviously. Um, Gabriel Bonfim coming off a win against Randy Brown. Um, it's kind of weird. I don't really remember that win for some reason. I remember the win over Stephen Thompson. I do remember that. Gales Williams. I mean, yeah. I mean, the win over Randy Brown is a good win. I really like Randy Brown as well. His fight with Kevin Holland coming up. What a matchup. I absolutely love that fight, dude. But like I said, I just think Bilal's on a different level to Gabriel Bonfim. It's Gabriel Bonfim's first time fighting someone that's in the top five. Um, yeah, like I said, this is probably out of the ones that were all announced. This is probably the least intriguing one, in my opinion. I just never thought this fight would happen, especially like this soon, because Bonfim is again ranked number 10 at the moment, and I just thought Bilal will maybe fight a Michael Morales, who is not really rumored to fight anyone at the moment. I mean, Islam is probably going to fight Ian Gary. JDM is fighting Carlos Prates, which is a banger as well. Very, very good fight. Yeah, I just didn't think this fight would happen. I didn't think Bilal Muhammad would be fighting Gabriel Bonfim after his loss to Ian Gary. And I just think Bilal will win. It's just as simple as that. I don't think Gabriel Bonfim is at his level. Moving on to the big one. Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland, Newark, New Jersey, UFC 328. Obviously, it's one that a lot of us have been waiting for. It's going to be, if promoted correctly, it will be top three biggest fights of 2026 in the UFC, without a doubt. Um, yeah, it's the matchup that it makes sense, right? And it's probably the fight that the UFC were hoping would get made before Sean Strickland was fighting Anthony Hernandez. Probably the best case scenario was that Sean Strickland won that fight, because now make the fight against Khamzat Chimaev and what could be, like I said, one of the bigger fights of 2026. Obviously, the fight everyone wants, right? But they're leaving Nasruddin Imavov out of this conversation of. I just really thought it was gonna be Nasruddin Imavov. I really did. I really did. Especially because Sean fought not even that long ago. Just didn't expect it to be this quick that they would announce this. That performance over Fluffy was an incredible performance. Again, Nasruddin Imavov came off a win against Caio Borralho a while ago too. I really thought he was next. I really thought he was next, and honestly, he did, in my opinion, deserve it more than Sean Strickland. But I just think that last performance obviously pushed him over the edge. Who would have really been more competitive in this fight? Would have been Nasruddin Imavov against Hamza or Sean? Who will do better against Hamza? And I think at the end of the day, I don't know how much that question actually matters, to be honest, because and it's like it's like as if like Hamza Chimaev completely brainwashes me, especially just with his last performance over DDP. I just like after that performance, I kind of just like set in stone. Hamza will never ever get beat by anyone in that middleweight division at the moment. not Nasruddin Imavov, not Sean Strickland, not Caio Borralho. If you ended up getting a shot at some point, nobody is going to beat Khamzat Chimaev. No one. That performance is, and again, people have different opinions on that fight, and a lot of people were not happy with that performance. Just saying it was boring, this, that, the other. And like, if we're being completely honest, yeah, it wasn't the most entertaining fight in the world. But a lot of the times when it comes to fights like that as well, you can't really put the blame completely on Khamzat Chimaev for that. Like, it's a title fight. I just think you have to. Again, it's because it's hard as well. Khamzat Chimaev is. Everyone says that he has some freakish strength, and he will take you down. He's taken down everybody that he's fought. It's inevitable that he's going to take you down. Dricus just couldn't deal with that at all. Just couldn't. Only later in that last round, in the fifth, was only where he had even a little bit of success. Other than that, there was nothing. It was pure domination. Was on top the entire fight. It's literally like, no, it wasn't the most entertaining thing in the world, but I can also say that performance was absolutely just dominant, and that isn't normal for title fights. It's not a normal thing. Like, especially because a lot of people picked Dricus to win that fight. Um, Me included. I thought Dricus would win that fight and be way more competitive and cause a lot of problems to Hamza Chimaev. And like I said, after that fight, I just kind of came to the conclusion this guy will never lose. He will never lose to anyone. It's kind of the same thing with Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. These guys will never lose. They will not lose to anyone, especially for Islam, who is in a stacked welterweight division at the moment. He will never lose. Ilia will never lose to anyone in that lightweight division. Same thing with Hamza. He will never lose. These guys are just on a different level of dominant performances. The only time Ilya or Islam will lose is if they fight each other. So, and even Hamza, obviously at some point will probably move up to light heavyweight as well to get that double champ status. But going back to Sean Strickland, I'm just gonna say it. I just think Hamza's gonna win. It's just like, obviously, I'm going to break it down when it comes around to it, but I really, Hamza's last performance just really, I just kind of set it in stone. Like I said, I don't think he'll ever lose. I just really don't. I really don't. And like, I want to see Hamza get tested. Like, I do. Like, I want to see him get tested. It just, do I think that Sean Strickland will be the guy to test him? And obviously, if it's a very, very, very big if, Sean Strickland can get up from being taken down repeatedly in those early rounds and be able to keep the fight on the feet as long as he can, then obviously, yeah, like, I think he will be able to do something. I think he will be able to get a victory for himself, but again, I need to break the fight down when it goes around to it. But as of right now, I'm very sticking to my guns. I think Hamza Chimaev will just win. I don't know if it's by a finish. Probably not, but there's I just, another part of me is just, there's no way that he's going to do exactly the same thing to Sean Strickland that he did to Dricus Du Plessis. Like I said, I don't think. I just think Hamza. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And people are gonna get behind Sean Strickland because obviously a lot of people are not big fans of Hamza Chimaev. A lot of people are gonna be rooting for Sean. And and this is just the case of, in my opinion, that the build up to this fight will be bigger than what the fight actually is. As of right now, that's how I feel. Maybe that could change again, like I said, if after I break it down and I look deeper into it. But as of right now, I'm not. I'm excited for the fight, obviously, because I also think that the build up will be absolutely crazy. I mean, Sean Strickland is a crazy guy. Hamza is a very he's a very serious guy, and he doesn't obviously if you talk trash to him, he doesn't take that as a joke. He takes it very personal, and this is gonna get personal extremely fast. I'm telling you right now. And yeah, man. As of right now, that's just how I feel about this fight. I think ranking these fights in terms of from best to worst in terms of the fights that were announced out of the five that were announced, Khamzat Strickland won. I'm gonna go Aljo versus Yusuf Zalal 2. I'm gonna go Alan Milky Zayel Costa 3. Song versus Figueroa 4. And Below versus Bonfim 5. And yeah, man. I think Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland will be one of the bigger fights of 2026. Is the fight build up bigger than the fight itself? I don't know. We will see. And that's about it, to be honest. Predictions for UFC Fight Night Evloev Murphy up later this week. And hey guys, thank you for watching. Let me know down below what is your favorite fight that got announced, and do you think Sean Strickland can get it done against Hamza Chimaev? Let me know down below why and how. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching once again. See you in the next one. Peace.